Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar, how to make $200,000 a year flipping houses in your own city. And this is a webinar. I don't care if you're an expert. I don't care if you've been doing this for years, but this is for anybody who's anybody, whether you're a beginner or not. This is going to teach you how to flip houses using little money down, using none of your own credit. And I'm going to teach you the secrets that got myself and my wife Melinda featured on national television on HGTV. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to give everybody a couple minutes, about a minute or two, just to get on. But I just want to go ahead and make sure that everybody has a working chat box window. So if you don't mind, why don't you go ahead and pop in your name and what city and state you're from in the chat box. All right, so we have Campbell from Dover, Delaware. Welcome to the call, Campbell. I have David from Detroit, Michigan. Awesome. I have Joni from Houston, Texas. Awesome. Who else is on the line? I have Connie from Charleston, South Carolina. Sweet. We have Dwayne from Tampa, Florida. All righty. He's probably chilling on the beach watching this. Let's see. We have Natty from Toronto, Canada. Okay. Awesome. I didn't know that we'd get international people on here, but welcome aboard. Matter of fact, do we have anybody else that's international? Go ahead and pop in your name and location. That will be pretty interesting to see. Okay. Winston from Wellington, New Zealand. That is a land down under. You are far away from me, man. I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada. Awesome. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump right into this webinar. And a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the chat box off, and I'm going to have my wife Melinda actually write down the questions, and then I'll answer your questions at the end of the webinar. So jumping right into the webinar, who is this for? This webinar is for anybody who's out there who wants to learn the secrets of how you can make $200,000 a year, which translated is $16,000 plus a month, flipping houses in your own city with little money down, using absolutely none of your own credit, even if you've never ever flipped a house before in your lifetime, and even if you're working a full-time job right now. And so what we're going to learn in the next 60 minutes, you guys and gals, is we're going to learn the number one secret strategy that my students and I are using on a daily basis to flip houses in multiple cities across America using absolutely none of your own credit and using very, very little money down. Matter of fact, most homes that we go after, we only put 10 to 20 bucks down, but more on that later. You're also going to learn on this webinar how you can quickly make an extra $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, even $20,000 a month flipping houses using simple strategies, even if you're working that full-time job. In the next 60 minutes, you're going to learn how to overcome your fear of getting started in real estate investing and go from zero to go to absolute hero by flipping your first home in the next 60 to 90 days. So I'm going to make you into freaking Superman by the end of this webinar. And in the next 60 minutes, you're going to learn how you can find 50 to 100 plus cash buyers in the next 72 hours. And I'm talking 3 days who will beg to pay you $5,000 plus for every property deal you find out. How would you like to find that out? Yeah. I'm also going to teach you how to find the sweetest house deals that are out there currently in your local market. I don't care what city you're in. I don't care how big or small the city is. There are people out there who want these deals, and I'm going to teach you how to find these people. And so look, this is going to be my promise to you. I'm going to teach you, and you're going to learn a very, very simple yet effective system that my students and I use to make 6 figures a year flipping houses. Even if you're working a full-time job, you can make $5,000 to $20,000 monthly on a part-time basis. And I'm also going to give you a gift at the end of this webinar. So I'm going to act like Santa Claus today, and at the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you a very special free gift that's going to help you if you're serious about making money. Matter of fact, what I'm going to give you is I'm going to give you notes over this webinar, And I'm also going to give you 2 of the main contracts that we use to close deals for absolutely free. No money. I'm going to just give it to you out of the kindness of my heart. And these alone are worth $699. So thank me at the end of the webinar. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump right into this. So does any of these things sound like you? And just answer in the chat box. Are you currently working at a job right now or a business that you totally despise and you feel like you're not getting paid what you're worth? Are you currently working way too many hours at your job? I mean, some of you guys are out there working 70, 80 hours a week, 60 hours a week, and you're totally frustrated that you're not spending enough quality time with your family, with your friends, and with your loved ones. Are you stressed out at times because although you make pretty decent money, sometimes you're left struggling at the end of the month. Sometimes you don't know how you're going to pay the rest of the bills. Sometimes you feel like you had to rob Peter to pay Paul, and you realize that totally sucks. Perhaps some of you out there are frustrated right now because you feel like you're overworked, you're stressed, you haven't taken a vacation in years. And even if you do take a vacation, you're not really taking a vacation because you're always checking your email, you have your laptop with you, you're always doing work. You just have to take a vacation to get away from your vacation. It's silly. Maybe you live in a good neighborhood in a decent home, and by other people's standards, you're doing pretty well for yourself. But deep down in your heart, you know that you can do better. You know that you can have a bigger and a more beautiful house, but you just don't know how you'd pay for it. Some of you who are on this webinar right now, you went to school, you got a degree, and you're working in corporate America. So basically, you're living the American dream. But is it really a dream or is it really a nightmare? Because every morning your heart palpitates when you think of getting out of bed and going to that position at work. Sometimes in the morning, you don't even feel like getting out of bed. You just wish you could just lay in bed and just keep the covers over your face. Does that sound like you? Some of you, you know that you could be doing much, much better than you're doing right now. And sometimes you wonder why you're making your employers rich with your talents, with your education. And some of you are even asking this question, heck, why can't I start my own business? Why can't I make the money that I'm worth? A few of you in here have children, such as myself, and you want to be able to provide for your kids. You want to be able to pay for their college education. You want to be able to create a legacy for them and create an inheritance for your future generations that aren't even here. And you want to do that just because you're a good parent and you want to provide for your family in the years to come, even after you're gone. But you don't have a plan. You don't have a way. You don't know how you're going to create that legacy. And many of you in here, you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that real estate investing is the number one system that Americans have used for centuries to create generational wealth and happiness. But some of you just need somebody to help you get started. You need somebody to help you get over the hurdles and somebody to take you over the barriers. Some of you have been praying for a solution of paying off your debts. And some of you have been praying for a way out of the never-ending rat race of working 40 to 60 hours a week at a job that's not going to provide for you or your retirement. Because we all know that Uncle Sam paying our Social Security is pretty much a joke, especially if you're in your 30s or your 40s. Now, some of you guys out there, you know that if somebody was out there to come and hold your hand, answer all questions that you have, and give you a system that works, you know that you could succeed with real estate. You know that you could do it, but you just need somebody to hold that hand for you. And some of you, you may have a fear of failure, and that's all right if you do. I had a fear of failure when I first got started. After all, these are some of the questions that you're asking yourself. You're thinking to yourself, how could I flip houses? I don't have any experience, and won't I get sued because I won't do things in the proper fashion? And what do I say to people who are selling their house? I mean, I don't want to look like an idiot. How do I estimate repairs? I don't know how to do all that. How do I find a good title company to close my deals at? I don't even know how to fill out contracts. I don't want to get sued. And some of you guys are just screaming like, ah. But look. All that stuff that I just stated and listed, look, that's not the real problem. You want me to tell you what the real problem? Those were just the symptoms of the real problem. And the real problem is this. You have not made the proper shifts. And you see, there are 4 shifts that you must take in order to design the lifestyle that you want and the lifestyle that real estate can provide for you. You want me to tell you what they are? I will in a second. But look, before I get to that, once you make these 4 shifts, these things are going to happen for you. You're going to overcome any fear that you have of getting started on your journey to making $200,000 a year flipping houses in your own city. Some of you guys out there, you know that if you could just make $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000 a month, that could totally transform your life and that could totally free you up. You're going to be able to replace your current income at your job and have the option to go full-time in real estate if you wish once you make these shifts. You're going to be able to feel security knowing that your family is taken care of and that you can travel anywhere you want at any time. You don't have to ask permission from a boss or from a supervisor because you're a grown adult and you've created that option and you've created freedom. You're going to be able to bless your family, your friends, and your community financially because you have more than enough. How would that sound? Once you make the shifts that I'm going to teach you, you're going to be able to have the freedom to fire your boss and start making your life the way that it should be. Once you make these shifts, you're going to feel pride knowing that you'll never ever have to stress about paying your bills. Once you make the shifts, you're going to have joy knowing that you are a master of your own destiny and that you determine your own future. The economy doesn't determine your future. Your job doesn't determine your future. Your business does not determine your future. Heck, whoever is the president in office does not guarantee or predict your future. You do. And look, if you don't make these shifts, and I'm going to tell you, this is what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to have the God-given freedom that you deserve and you desire to have in life. You're not going to be able to spend the quality time with your loved ones that they deserve. If you don't make these shifts, you guys, you're going to be putting your retirement and your financial destiny in your job's hands, or worse, you're going to put it in Uncle Sam's hands. And I don't know about you, but that's not a good recipe for success. If you don't make these shifts, you're going to risk not being able to leave your children a legacy. And if you only remember one thing from this call and one thing, and that's it, please remember this. Real estate is going to be your ticket to solving your problem, and I'm going to be here to personally coach you and lead you into greatness. So let me know if you're in. Do you feel like you have what it takes to start this journey with me? Go ahead and put it in the chat box right now. Sam said, I do. Connie said, let's get started. Gary said, yes. Awesome. And before we start, let me go ahead and properly introduce myself to you just so that you know who I am and why you should even be listening to me. So my name is Daniel Wiafe, and I know I have a crazy last name. And I started flipping houses back in 2010 back in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I started doing it with my wife, and before flipping houses, I actually had a successful internet business that made me $30,000 to $80,000 a month from the ages of 26 to 28. And you see, this was a major achievement for me because back in the day when I was younger, when I was 22 years old, I had actually declared bankruptcy. And I did stupid stuff, I'm going to admit, and I paid the price for it. But I got over that hurdle and I started this internet business and I made good money. I thought I arrived. So by the age of 28, I'm making buku amounts of money and I'm feeling good. My wife's loving me. And all that came crashing down in 2008 when my main advertiser blacklisted my websites. And so you see, guys and gals, just like that, I came crashing right back down to earth. And times they sucked drastically for me. I'm not even going to lie. And so I had just had a newborn son who was born in 2008. And I had to make ends meet. And there goes my son right there. And I did what I needed to do. I delivered newspapers at the crack of dawn 7 days a week, every day for minimal amounts of money. I think I made like 30, 40 bucks a day. I mean, life was terrible for me. I hated it. I'll be honest with you. And so after much trials and tribulations that I feel that God allowed me to go through, I was able to discover real estate as my way back into achieving freedom. And so my first year, I made slightly over $112,000 flipping houses. And what I did after that was I started a video blog at houseflippingninja.com. And the chief purpose of that was to keep myself accountable, because I felt like if I recorded my journey and I posted it on YouTube and posted it on Facebook and, posted it to my inner circle of friends, that there was no way I could stop going on with my journey, because people are going to surely ask, hey, Daniel, how's that flipping houses thing going? And I don't want to look like a fool and say I stopped doing it. So then shortly after that, my wife and I, we actually got a call that would change our lives forever. We actually got a call from a production company who was looking for a couple with a young child to film for a TV show for HGTV. And so long story short, we wound up recording a reality television show called Flipping the Heartland. We filmed 13 episodes that aired on HGTV, and it had pretty huge success. And so here goes a few pictures. You see my wife looking happy right next to me. And this is us at one of our open houses. We had a house in Owasso in that picture. And this is me from one of my friend's TVs, her flat screen TV. She took a picture of me. This was, we were actually doing some yard work at one of our properties. This is us shooting our little interviews with our little son Malachi in a park. And this is I don't know what you call it, preview guide. Yeah. So we were on at 11 o'clock in the evening. And so, getting back to my slides, this is HGTV's About Us page about the show. Says that I'm a real estate maverick who takes risks because I believe that I'm going to come out on top no matter what. Yes, I do. And Melinda is my savvy wife and business partner, and she crunches the numbers. So it was a really fun experience. This is actually our page from the HGTV Canada. This is an article on the Tulsa World. This is an article in the Las Vegas Sun. This is a TV interview that we did with the local news. I believe it was CBS out there in Oklahoma. I've also had a lot of opportunities to speak at pretty big events. So this right here is a future event that I'm actually going to speak at in February, Josh Cantwell. And I feel honored that I'm speaking right underneath Donald Trump Jr. So you guys know him. He was on The Apprentice. And if you don't know him, you definitely know his dad, who's actually running for president. So it's definitely, real estate has definitely given us a lot of opportunities. This right here is me looking kind of goofy up here. I'm filming a blog post for my YouTube channel. And matter of fact, about my blog and my YouTube channel, again, it's at House Flipping Ninja. I have over 7,000 combined followers who are learning to flip houses. And most importantly, you guys, I have a track record of success with students who have become successful in real estate. And so let me introduce you to a few of them. So you see, this right here is Jason. And Jason was a pastor, and he was actually my first one-on-one student who I worked with in Tulsa. And he actually made his first $5,000 in less than 3 weeks. And he only put 20 hours of work, and he flipped his first house using the techniques that I taught him. This right here is David. David was a counselor, and he had never made money in real estate. And within 5 weeks of me teaching him, he had actually flipped 2 homes using none of his own credit, and he only used a couple $100s in marketing using what I taught him in my one-on-one coaching. This right here is Jerry, and Jerry's a healthcare recruiter, and he flipped his first house for a super quick $4,000 in 12 days using no credit and only about $100 in marketing. Another coaching success. And this right here is my first house that I actually flipped at a distance. So I actually flipped this home while we were still living in Tulsa. And I flipped it in Southwest Las Vegas, and it was over 1,000 miles away from my hometown. And look, I made a $30,000 payday in a little over 8 weeks, and I only spent $600 in marketing. And most importantly, I used none of my credit. Now, let me ask you guys this. How many of you guys would love to make $30,000 in 8 weeks and you're only spending $600? Michelle said, yes, I would. Bring it on. And look, check this out. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom property that is sitting on 3 acres of land on Lewis Lane in Manford, Oklahoma. And we picked this one up for $20,000 and flipped it for $26,500 and made $6,500. Yay! And what do you think of this little scrunchy looking house over here? We made $5,000 in 12 days time, and we only used 9 hours of our time. How would you guys love to make $5,000 in 9 hours? That's like a work day for some of you guys. And we did just that with this house. I mean, it was a little shack. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home on Washington Avenue in Sand Springs. And I locked it up from the seller for $10,000 on New Year's Day. And then I sold it for $15,000 a little under 2 weeks later on January 12th. This house right here is in South Tulsa, and it was actually down the street from Oral Roberts University, and we flipped it for a profit of slightly over $52,000. And this is the beautiful family that actually bought it from us, and it was featured on Flipping the Heartland, and so they sent us a picture a few weeks after we had ended filming on the house. This right here is a house on North Juniper Place in Broken Arrow, and this is my friend Todd, and this was flipped for a profit of $31,599.78. And this right here is a HUD statement which shows you the profit that we made on it. And I was super proud of this one, you guys, just because it was our very first flip that we recorded for national television on HGTV. And so look, let me ask you this. Would you love to make the massive profits that you just saw me put out there? Yes. Great. Are you ready for the number one strategy that I and my coaching students have used successfully to crush it across the cities in America and give us financial freedom? Go ahead and answer in the chat box. Lisa said yes. Connie said I'm ready. Joni said get on with it. All right, I'm going to get on with it. So look, this is my number one strategy for beginners. Wholesaling real estate. And some of you guys are like, what is wholesaling? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. Wholesaling is a real estate niche where you do the marketing and you find a person who wants to sell their house for a highly discounted rate. So for example, usually the house is vacant or is inherited, or the person has bad tenants in it, or is super damaged. And so the person just wants to get rid of the house. And so what you do is you lock up the property with a motivated seller using a simple contract. And again, I'm going to give you the simple contract at the end of this webinar. And the simple contract is going to state that you or another person of your choosing will be able to buy the house for, let's say, for this example, $50,000 and close within 30 to 60 days. And so what you're going to do is you're going to put down $20 for the earnest money deposit. And so look, there's going to be clauses in the contract that allow you to back out at any time. So you don't have to fear, well, hey, what if I can't find a person to pay the house? You know, there's going to be loopholes in there and clauses in there which allow you to back out at any time. And let's say that the house, once it's in totally repaired condition and shape, let's say that it's going to sell for $100,000. So what you're going to do is you're going to find a cash buyer who wants to buy that house for, let's say, $60,000. And you see, at $60,000, he's getting a sweet deal because he can fix up the house and sell it for $100,000. And so what that buyer is going to do is he's going to sign your assignment contract, which is another contract that I'm going to give you for free at the end of this webinar. And so look, your title company is going to arrange the closing. The cash buyer brings $60,000 cash to the closing. The motivated seller is going to get paid their $50,000 that you promised. And so look, there's a difference that's going to be left over. And what is that? It's $10,000. And guess who that $10,000 go to? Ding, 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 ding. You're right. It goes to you. And for you basically playing matchmaker, you're going to make a quick $10,000. How does that sound? And look, nowhere in that transaction did you hear me say that you had to use your own credit. Nowhere in that transaction did you hear me say that you had to put down a whole bunch of money for a deposit. You only need to put down $20 for the deposit. And in many cases, you don't even have to put money down. And nowhere in that example or scenario did I say, hey, you had to go fix toilets or swing hammers. I mean, I'm not really good at fixing toilets or swinging hammers. Even if I was, I wouldn't want to do it. And nowhere in that scenario did you see that you had to do any extra hard work. All you guys are doing is you're just basically bringing a motivated seller who has equity in their home, and you're matchmaking them with a cash buyer, and then you make a handsome fee. And look, this is the best and the quickest strategy for beginning real estate investors to create a 6-figure business. It's very easy for you to do 2 to 4 of these wholesale deals every month in your own city on a part-time basis, as long as you have proper guidance and good systems. And on average, you can easily make $5,000 to $10,000 per deal. And on occasions, you're going to have those home run wholesale deals where you make $20,000, $50,000, $80,000 plus per deal. And look, once your systems are in place and you're cranking on all 6 cylinders, it should typically take you approximately 2 to 6 weeks to close each deal once you get them locked up with the seller. So look, here goes Melinda, my wife, and you've heard it said that diamonds are a woman's best friends. No, you heard wrong. A $25,000 payday is a woman's best friends. And this is something which real estate and business can produce for you. This right here was something that I felt really, really proud of. I was actually able to surprise and bless my wife with a Lexus GX 470 for her birthday. And so it was pretty sweet. She didn't know that I was doing that, and she was sleeping, and I actually got the car. I parked it in the driveway, and I put a big old huge heavy red bow on top of it, and she came out in the morning to go to her business, and she was like, whoa. And it was truly amazing. And so this is her posing with the Lexus, and look, I was really proud of this moment just because I was able to bless somebody that I care about and I love. And I want you guys to be able to do that for the people that you love. Some of you guys want to be able to bless and surprise your husband or your wife or your children or your parents with better things in life. You know, for some of you guys may want to buy your significant other a vehicle, or you may want to go on a surprise vacation to Paris, or you may want to go do whatever. And real estate is one vehicle which is going to allow you to do the extraordinary. And so look, at the beginning of the webinar, I told you that there's 4 shifts which are going to allow you to crank it out and make $200,000 a year for wholesaling. And so let's get into that. So the first shift is you need to have the proper systems in place for your business. And before I get started on that, I'm going to take a little sip of water because my mouth is getting dry like the Sahara Desert. All right, I'm back. Hydrated. Okay, so look, shift 1 is you have to have proper systems. And this is a fact. Without proper systems, you're not going to go very far in this business. And so look, here is the basics of what you're going to need to start wholesaling houses to make 6 figures a month. 6 figures a year. You're going to need to have the proper legal structure. And a disclaimer, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a lawyer either. So look, you can either set up a DBA or a LLC. And so a DBA is doing business as, and an LLC means limited liability company. And so usually DBAs are going to cost you $30 to $40 a year to start off. And an LLC, depending on what state you live in, is going to run you anywhere from $200 to $400 or $500 a year. And so what I tell everybody is when you're first starting off, get started with a DBA. You know, those are going to be the cheap things. You get started for $30, $40. And then after you flip your first deal, then use your money to buy yourself an LLC, because an LLC is going to be the structure that's actually going to protect you the greatest. You're going to want to come up with a name for your company. And so the name of your company should be real estate related. So example, Daniel Buys Houses, or San Antonio Home Buyers if you're in San Antonio, Texas, or Johnson Realty Team. So don't get cute. I mean, don't come up with a name that's called Pink Unicorns Going Around Saturn Company. You know, that makes no sense. It may be cute, but people don't understand what the heck it is. So make sure that whatever name you choose for your real estate company is something that makes sense. Thirdly, you're going to need phone lines. And you're going to need 2 phone lines. You're going to need 1 phone line for your sellers and 1 phone line for your buyers. And some of the systems that you can use to get those phone lines are Freedom Voice, Ring Central. Those cost about $10 a month, $10 to $20 a month. Or you can get Google Voice, which is actually free. Next thing you're going to want to do is get a Google account, and your Google account is going to allow you to set up your emails and also a YouTube channel, because when you start going into your houses, you're going to want to start taking video recordings of them and uploading them to YouTube. You're going to want to get some websites. And so you're going to want to, again, just like with the phone lines, have one website for the seller and one website for the buyer. And so for your sellers, you're going to use FreedomSoft or Investor Carrot. Those run you about $47 to $97 a month. And for buyers, you're going to use Postlets, and Postlets is free to use. You're going to want to have business cards, and just like with everything else, you're going to want to have a set for your sellers and a set for your buyers. So I tell my students at least 500 for sellers and 500 for buyers. You're going to want to get a UPS box or a PO box, just because you don't want to get into the habit of putting your home address on your cards. And a UPS box will cost you like $50 a quarter. And you can get your cards for very, very inexpensively. I can't even talk today. You can get your cards inexpensively off of Vistaprint. There, I said it right. You're going to want to have something for your lead management. So you're going to get a ton of leads that are coming in, and it's not going to be good for you to just like write everything down on a notebook paper, because you're going to lose that. So let's get with the 21st century. So again, you're going to have FreedomSoft or Investor Carrot for your seller websites, and they also have a lead management system where you can put your leads at and keep track of them over the computer. So that's good. You're going to want to have the proper contracts, and disclaimer, I'm not an attorney. I'm not Johnny Cochran or Perry Mason, so I may play one on TV, but I'm not an attorney for real. So the contracts you're going to want to have is the purchase sales agreement, and that's going to be used for the sellers, and the assignment contract for buyers. And those are going to have the loopholes that are going to prevent you from being sued or getting in trouble. And I'm going to give them to you again as a gift to you at the end of this webinar. You're going to want to have a title company or real estate attorney who is investor friendly, because you need to be able to close your deal somewhere, and these guys and gals are going to be your perfect partners for you to have success. So that is the first shift that you must take, is you need to have the proper business systems in place. The second shift that you're going to need to take in order to propel yourself to a place where you're making $200,000 plus a year is you're going to need to find motivated sellers consistently. And what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go fishing, just like this little girl in the picture. And the fact of the matter is this: without a consistent stream of motivated sellers, you're not going to make any money at all in this business. And finding sellers for you needs to be the most important thing that you do. And you need to always be out there fishing for deals. And so what is a motivated seller? A motivated seller is a person who's highly motivated to sell their house for cents on the dollar. And when I say cents on the dollar, I'm talking they want to sell their house for 50 cents on the dollar. And why on earth would they sell it for that cheap? Typically, it's because their house is vacant, or they inherited the house from a grandma or grandpa. The house may have been abandoned for years and it's come into severe disrepair. The house may have bad tenants, and the person is renting it out to these bad tenants, and the tenants aren't even paying money to the landlord. And so the landlord is, excuse my language, they're pissed off, and they just want to kick them out and get rid of this problem property. Sometimes people get divorced. Sometimes people get into situations where they just need quick cash. Somebody may have gotten arrested and they need bail money, and they have an extra house, and they say, hey, let me just cash out this house and take quick cash, and they need to move fast. And so not only does the seller need to be motivated, but they should have a lot of equity in their home, meaning that they should not be upside down in their payments. So if they want $80,000 for the house, but yet they owe $100,000 on their house, that's a no deal. They don't have any equity. What is not a motivated seller? I'm going to tell you. A person who's not a motivated seller is going to be a person who calls you and they're just quote unquote shopping around just to see what kind of price that they can get for their house. No, we don't want to deal with you. A person that's not motivated is going to be a person who wants top dollar for their house. No, we don't give you top dollar for your house. How are we going to make money? A person who's not motivated is going to be a person who wants a large earnest money deposit for their house. So they say, hey, I want you to give me $5,000 as a down payment. No, we're not going to do that. There's other people that we can go to who they're motivated enough where they'll take our $10 to $20 to $30 down payment. A person who's not motivated is going to be somebody who doesn't get back to you on a timely basis. I mean, you talk to them and they seem interested at first and then they start going AWOL and you want to put ads on the back of a milk carton looking for them because you think that they're abandoned or they got kidnapped. It's crazy. And so look, here's a quick tip. Don't deal with these type of people that are not motivated because it sucks the living life out of you and it's stressful. And we're in this business to free ourselves of stress. So look, take this to heart. Only deal with people that want to move fast. Okay, so look. There are many ways that you can actually market to find these motivated sellers. And so one thing you could do is you could send postcards, and you can send postcards to absentee owners, to probate lists, to inheritance lists. And this is the best long-term way for you to make money. And I teach my students how to do this. Bandit signs, this is the easiest way for you to market. And it's very, very quick way for you to find sellers. You can use internet marketing, so you can buy ads on Google pay-per-click or set up websites. You can go driving for dollars, which means that you just drive around neighborhoods looking for homes which appear like they're abandoned. And homes that are abandoned are homes that are boarded up, or they have tall grass, or they have old newspapers and telephone books stacked up on the porch. And what you're going to do is you're going to get the address and you're going to look it up on your local property tax assessor's websites, and you're going to find out where the owner of that house lives at, and you're going to mail them a letter saying, hey, Bill, Bob, Mary, whatever their name is, I want to buy your house at 123 Main Place. And those people are going to call you back. You can go door knocking on pre-foreclosures or notice of defaults. That's not for the faint of heart. You can team up with other wholesalers, and they may have cash buyers, and you find the motivated sellers, and you guys bring the two parties together, and you guys split the money that you make 50-50. And look, my coaches and I, we teach this system, all this that we stated, to all of our students who are in our coaching program. Matter of fact, let me introduce you to Eric. Eric is actually one of my students in my academy right now. And look, this is what he said in our private Facebook group. He said, hey, Dojo, I closed on the deal that Daniel gave me advice on in the negotiations. And, you know, I had my little dancing symbol and he said, thanks. And I mean, it's totally awesome because he made $5,000 and he only spent a little bit of his money doing postcard marketing. And again, yeah, $5,000 checks, they're not going to make you rich, but they're going to add up nicely when you do 2 to 4 of them in a monthly basis. So look, what is the easiest way for you to find motivated sellers? Bandit signs. Bandit signs are going to be the simplest way for you to market. And so what bandit signs are those 18 to 24 inch corrugated signs that you see all over your city. You're going to get them in either yellow or a white color. And what you're going to do with them is you're going to write a message on them, which I'm going to tell you what that message is in just a moment. But bandit signs are how I personally got started in real estate investing. And this is what led to me having great success. Bandit signs are a super ninja way for you to use. It's very, very easy for you to get started with them. And I'm going to show you how. So look, this is what a sample bandit sign looks like. It will say, I buy houses, 80 condition, and your phone number. I don't recommend that you put your website on there like this person did. This is another one. It's handwritten, I buy houses, fast cash, and then you're going to have the phone number underneath there. And this right here, it says, I'll buy your house today, cash. And you put your phone number down, ask for Daniel, or ask for Lisa, or ask for Sam, whatever your name is. And so what you're going to do is you can buy your Bandit signs from dirtcheapsigns.com. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to put 50 to 100 Bandit signs out there a week. And it's going to typically cost you about $1.50 to $3 a sign when you consider the cost of stakes and nails and zip ties. And if you do 50 to 100 Bandit signs a week, you should do 2 to 3 deals a month. And so here goes me standing with one of my Bandit signs that I wrote up. And one tip is you want to be careful placing your signs, as there's some cities and municipalities that will fine you for these signs. So you definitely want to be careful, and you always want to use a non-traceable number on your Bandit sign, like Google Voice. So don't ever put your personal cell phone number on your Bandit sign. And the key thing is you want to be able to find sellers that are motivated to sell their house for 65 to 70% of ARV. ARV is an acronym for after repair value. And what you're going to do is you're going to subtract the estimated repairs minus your assignment fee. So you're going to find your ARV using redfin.com, Zillow.com, and Trulia.com. And what you're going to do is you're going to average out the prices that you find on your home that you're looking to buy, and that's going to be your ARV. And so how do you find estimated repairs? It's a really simple equation. So if the house is in fairly good condition, it's in livable condition, you're going to do $10 times the square footage of the house. So if the house is 1,800 square feet and it's in good livable condition, you're going to take $10 times 1,800 square feet, and that's going to come up to $18,000. If the home needs updating, let's say it hasn't been updated in about 15 to 20 years, use $15 times the square footage of the house. If the house needs windows and it has structural damage like cracks all up on the wall, then do $20 times the square footage of the house. If the house is a total disaster, then you're going to want to do $30 to even $50 times the square footage to get your estimated repairs. And how are you going to figure out your assignment fee? And your assignment fee is going to be the money that you make. What you're going to try and do, you guys, is you're going to try to set your assignment fee at $10,000 for each deal that you do, because you can always negotiate downwards if need be. But you don't want to set it off at $5,000 right off the bat. So always try to set it at $10,000. And so here goes a fact. The information that you just received is gold. You can go out there, you can kill it, you can crank it out, and you can make some money. But remember, stay on the end, and I'm going to give you the special gift in my contracts for both sellers and buyers. All right, look. So here is a third shift to you making $200,000 a year. You need to find cash buyers who will practically beg to give you money. And so here goes a quick tip. You can lock up all the houses that you want from motivated sellers. You can lock 100 of them this week if you want and put them under contract. But guess what? If you have a ton of houses and no buyers, you have no moolah, you have no money. I don't want to say you suck, but your bank account probably is going to suck. So the fact is this. Many new wholesalers think that finding cash buyers is hard, and actually it's easy. So remember this. Every city, no matter how small it is, has people who want to buy up discounted real estate deals for cheap. And so, look, I want to introduce you to Dee. Dee is actually a student in my paid academy. She's one of my paid students. And I just sent a shout out to her in our private Facebook group because she took action. She put out her Bandit signs to build up a cash buyers list. And within one day, she had over 40 calls from cash buyers ringing her voicemail. And when I discussed it with her, she had created over $1 million in buying power for real estate. And now she totally feels confident that she can go out there, get properties under contract, and she's going to have a cash buyer who's going to buy the property for her. And so I had asked her, you can look at the messages that's down there. I said, how many more buyers have called you since Saturday, and how's everything going? And she says, I've gotten over 90 more voicemail messages since then. Things are going good. I reached out to Eric and we'll be calling him today. And so look, 90 voicemail messages. She had over 90 more. So 40 the first time I talked to her, and then 90 more. So she had a total of 130 calls within, I believe, 3 days, which is crazy. And so 40 calls, first 12 hours, she did the marketing that I told her to do in the coaching program. And 90 more calls after the first day's calls. I mean, that was totally incredible. And so remember this, if you have a slamming good deal, cash buyers are going to beat down your door for it. If you had the money and somebody offered you a home for, let's say, $50,000 that only needed $10,000 of worth of work to it, with that, and it would be worth $100,000 if you could flip it in 30 days, would you buy it? So basically, you can buy it for $50K and you only put $10K in it, and so you're going to be in the house for $60K, and at the end, it's going to be worth $100K to you. And you can flip the house and make $40,000 in 30 days. You're going to buy it. And so look, listen very carefully and do not repeat this secret that I'm going to reveal to you, because if you do, I'm going to hunt you down, I'm going to find you, and I'm going to do some bad stuff to you. So obviously I'm just kidding, but you get my drift. So look, in the next few moments, I'm going to tell you how I personally built up a list of 200 plus cash buyers in 1 week's time in a mid-sized city in Oklahoma. And here was my story. When I first started in real estate back in 2010, I saw that there was a ton of people who were out there making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month wholesaling. But I wanted to prove to myself that it worked, because I was scared that I would go out there, get a bunch of properties under contract, and I would totally embarrass myself and fall flat on my face because I wouldn't have any buyers who wanted to buy the properties from me. And so I didn't want to do that. And so me coming from an internet marketing background, I'm totally all about doing research. And so what I did, you guys, was I decided to test out my market, which was Tulsa, Oklahoma back then. And I wanted to see if there were actually cash buyers out there who would want to buy houses. And so look, what I did was I bought 50 Bandit signs, and I hand wrote each of these Phantom Bandit signs, and I placed them all around town at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning. And it basically said, cheap house for sale, 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,900 square feet, only $19,500 cash. Call now, and my phone number. And so the results, it literally blew me away. I had calls that were ringing directly to my voicemail, and by noontime, I had 38 calls from cash buyers. By 10 o'clock that evening, I had 103 phone calls. By Sunday evening, the next day, I had 147 phone calls. And then by the next weekend, 1 week later, I had a total of 224 people call me from those signs. And by that time, I just stopped tracking calls because it wasn't even worth it to me. And so this is what the cash buyers look like once I called them back and talked to them. 84 of them were people who had at least $30,000 cash to buy a house. 36 of them were people who had at least $100,000 cash to buy a house from me. 33 of them were tire kickers, and these were people who were trying to use a mortgage, or they wanted to do a rent to own or something like that. 29 of them were people who had at least $150,000 cash to buy a property. That's huge. And then 6 of them were people who were representing hedge funds, and they had between $500,000 to $1.5 million in cash and equity. I mean, these were the whales. And I mean, I got these guys with just Bandit signs, which was crazy. And so do you think that I proved to myself that I could find a buyer or maybe 2 buyers for future properties that I would find? Yeah, you're right. I did. I totally proved that if I get a house on a contract, there's going to be people that wanted to buy it. And so when the callers called, I just informed them that the property was no longer for sale, but I do plan on finding 2 to 4 of these deals like this every single month. And so what I did was I collected their names, their cell phone numbers, email addresses, the amount of money that they had to invest, how much repairs they're comfortable with, areas of town that they like to buy in. And look, all my students in different cities are having success using the systems that I teach them. And so this is the fourth and the final shift that you need to take if you want to get to a position of making $200,000 a year. You need to invest in a coach who's going to lead you into success. And let me take a quick drink of water real quickly. Okay, so in real estate, the big boys that make money, and I'm not going to be sexist, the big boys and the big girls that make money, they don't go in all by themselves and try and do it themselves. The fact of the matter is this, that smart investors know that real estate is a team sport, not an individual sport. And my motto is that teamwork makes the dream work. And look, here goes one of my students, and he is actually a coach in my academy right now. And he just showed us how he did it. I mean, he followed the tips that I gave him, and he's just an exemplary investor. He just absolutely kills it. He's a very, very smart guy. He made $12,800 plus on a wholesale flip, and in the same week, he made $8,200 on the same on another house. So basically, what he did was he made a total of $21,000 in 1 week wholesaling houses. He didn't use any of his credit, and he used very little money down. How would you like to have a week like that where you pull in $21,000? And look, let me tell you a little story. When I first got started in real estate, I got started with no coach. I decided to do it the cheap way. I didn't have a money mindset, and I made $6,500 on this, which was my first flip. You see this picture of this brick house? It was my first flip. And the issue with it was, although it was good that I made $6,500, it took me 10 months for me to do it from start to finish. And the embarrassing thing about it was I had to keep on going back to the seller, who was a little 70-year-old lady. I had to keep on going back to her over and over and over again to extend the contract. And bless her heart, she was a sweet old lady, and so she did it for me. But during that time period, I also lost 3 other deals because I didn't know what I was doing. And when I calculated up, I basically lost $32,800 in potential profit because I had no guidance and I tried to do stuff myself. Because, I mean, look, you can read all the ebooks you want and you can get all the notes you want. And obviously, I'm going to give you the notes at the end of this webinar, but it can only take you so far. I mean, if you you could get notes on how to do brain surgery and remove a brain tumor, and yeah, somebody could write you an ebook saying put the scalpel here and separate the scalp from the skull. But I mean, you guys all know that you're not really gonna be a successful brain or neurosurgeon just reading an ebook. So look, the moral of the story is this: I flipped the house. I made the $6,500. Yeah, but I went through 10 months of anguish and I lost over $30,000 in the same time period. That's not good. And so eventually, yeah, I had massive success because I took massive action and I did not give up, even though I wanted to give up multiple times. But I wasted thousands of dollars in marketing and I wasted hundreds of hours over the course of 6 to 10 months. And had I invested good money in a real estate mentor who knew what they were doing and had previous success, my learning curve would have been way shorter. And so, look, this is what I tell my one-on-one coaching students and my group coaching students all the time. I tell them, learn from other people's mistakes, because that's true wisdom. Learning from other people's mistakes and not having to learn from your own mistakes. And so successful people team up with somebody now to teach them, to transform them, and to help lead them into the promised land. And a successful coach will do the following for you. A successful coach is going to take you from point A to B. A successful coach is going to take you from being a real estate zero to being an absolute real estate hero. A successful coach is going to take you from a point of weakness and lead you into a position of greatness. And getting a good coach and a mentor is an investment into your future and can create you a wealth of good fortune for you. And I personally spent tens of thousands of dollars on good mentoring over the years, and it's led me to have multiple successes in various businesses and real estate, having a national television show on HGTV. And anytime I've invested money or time into good mentoring, I've always been able to recoup it 30, 60, 100 fold. And your mission right now, if you choose to accept it, and if you choose to make 6 figures a year, is I want you to find a good mentor that you trust. Doesn't need to be me, but you need to find somebody that you trust, that you feel like, that you feel a connection to. And look, here goes a lady in my academy. And look, this is what she said. She said, wow, another guy called me and he has 2 properties he wants to get rid of. This is overwhelming, but I'm excited. According to his message, apparently he's spoken to somebody before and he thinks that I'm them, but I'm going to try my best to lure him my way so we can hopefully close the deal. And look, In a situation like this, what is she going to do if she doesn't have a mentor? Obviously, I'm her mentor, but what is she going to have when these hiccups come and she doesn't have anybody to lead her or give her proper direction? You know, yeah, she may succeed, but yeah, she may take a wrong turn and lose the deal. This is another person who's a part of my academy. She has 7 cash buyers as of 9:30 p.m. that day. And my response to her was, okay, well, what type of details did you receive from them? Like, how much money do they have? What areas of town do they want to buy in, etc. And this is what she told me. She said 9 of the cash buyers, 4 of them can invest up to $135,000, 1 can invest up to $300,000, and 3, depending on how great the deal is, can invest more than $300,000. And 1 guy, I need to call him back and get information on his buying range. And so anytime you have a question, you need to have a good or a successful mentor who's there who can answer your questions and answer them in a fairly quick fashion. You know, the worst thing you can do when you have a mentor is have somebody who you can't get a hold of and you can't get communication from, because when you need answers, you need the answers. This is another guy and his wife, and they actually recently joined my academy, and they took my advice. They put out the Bandit signs, and they had a call from a person who had 2 investment properties that they wanted to sell. And we were able to give them the proper guidance, as you can see from the conversation. And so the wife, she actually thanked me because she went back, she talked to the buyer, and it's actually an investor group, and they have a max budget of $300,000 per property. And they said bring anything and everything to them and they'll crunch the numbers. And so when you're working a big, huge deal like that, that is going to be stressful for you to work by yourself if you're new and you don't have any type of mentoring or guidance. This guy right here, he's actually a person who is considering jumping into my academy. We're Facebook friends, and he's talked to and worked with a lot of fake gurus, he said. And he's known me for about as long as he's known them. And he said that he should have started and stopped with me. But he's doing whatever. And when the proper time comes, he's going to jump on board with me. And so, look, the thing is this. You need to find a mentor that you can trust, that you know is going to lead you to the promised land. You need to find somebody who has results, who has guaranteed results, somebody who's been there and done that. And look, now is your time to take action. And so during the webinar, I promised you a bunch of things at the beginning, and I accomplished every single task for you. So look, I promised you at the beginning that I was going to teach you my number 1 strategy to making $200,000 plus a year in real estate, which is wholesaling. And that doesn't involve you losing any money, and it doesn't involve you risking any of your own credit. I promised you that I was going to teach you the 4 shifts that I and my students and a select few of us across the country have taken in order to give us freedom by using real estate as our vehicle to make 6-figure incomes a year. I accomplished that. I promised you that I was going to teach you exactly what systems you need in order to be a successful real estate business and how to make $5,000 to $20,000 a month part-time. I accomplished that. I promised you at the beginning that I was going to teach you how to find motivated sellers in your city who need to sell their house fast and at a discounted rate. And I accomplished that. I promised you that I would give you a tip that would literally blow your mind and knock you off your feet in learning how to find cash buyers in your city who will beg to give you money for your real estate deals that would totally blow your socks off. And I accomplished that. I promised you that I was going to teach you how to overcome your fear of jumping into real estate and to teach you to believe in your God-given gifts and talents. So look, now is the time for you to take action, because I've showed you that why everybody who dreams of becoming a successful real estate investor and dreams of making 6 figures a year in real estate and thus attaining freedom in their life and finances, I've showed you why they need to invest in a good mentor and a coach to lead them and guide them into greatness. Now is your time to take action. And right now you have a choice, my friend. You can make the 4 shifts that are needed in order to crank out your 6-figure income and make $200,000 in the next 12 months. Or you can choose to do nothing with this life-changing information that I've just given you. The decision to win is yours and yours alone to make. And if you want your next year to look just like your current year, then it's simple. Keep doing what you've been doing, and you're going to keep having the same results. But if you want to change, you need to do something drastic and make drastic changes. And now is the time for you to make up in your mind that you're either going to become a master of your own destiny, or you're going to choose to remain in the status quo. Are you willing to take action right now and do what's needed to create freedom for your household? But look, if you're like me and how I was a few years ago, you're probably tired of working 40 to 60 hours a week at a dead-end job that's not taking you anywhere. And you're tired of feeling hopeless, and you're tired of not having the respect that's due to you. You're tired of having more problems and worries than dollars in your bank accounts. And I get it. But look, this is your time to win. Now is your time to win. You must, and I repeat, you must make a change, take action, and make those 4 shifts in order for you to realize a 6-figure income and the freedom that it's going to give you in your life and in your household and in your family. If you have a burning desire to win and take control over your destiny in your life by using real estate as your vehicle, and that's what you truly want, my team and I, we've set aside some personal time this week to help you create a $200,000 real estate business. The call that you're going to jump on and you're going to sign up for right now, the button is below this webinar video, is absolutely free. And it's designed to get you to discover how real estate can give you the freedom that you desire, as well as allowing you to gain clarity on your future and what needs to be done in order for you to reach your personal financial goals and to remove any obstacles and any hurdles that are in your path that would prevent you from having the success that you deserve. And so, look, this is my question to you right now, personally, one-on-one, just you and me. Do you have what it takes? And look, from time to time, I personally work with a small group of new real estate investors in an intense 12-week online workshop where we give you every single tool that you need to successfully make $10,000 to $20,000 a month wholesaling houses within the next 3 months, even if you're working a full-time job. Now, who is this opportunity not for, and who is this academy not for, and who do I not want to work with? I don't work with people that are complainers or whiners, and I don't work with people that don't like to take action or they're lazy. I don't like to work with people who don't want to follow instructions. I don't want to work with people that feel like they have no money to devote to marketing. I don't want to work with people that feel like they're know-it-alls. I get it that you're smart, but if you need mentoring, you need mentoring. So I don't want to work with people that like to blame other people for their problems in life. And I don't like to work with people that are dull or boring or don't like to have a good time. You know, I like to laugh and joke and have fun and act a little crazy silly sometimes. That's just me. I'm crazy kooky. I don't like to work with people that fear becoming greatness or they fear doing big, huge things in life. But look, who is this opportunity for? And look, I want you to listen carefully because this probably describes you. I want to work with people that are tired of living below their potential. I want to work with people that want to make $10,000 to $20,000 a month wholesaling houses on a part-time basis starting out. I want to work with people who understand that this is a business and there are marketing costs and investments that you need to make to create a $200,000 business that'll give you freedom. I want to work with people that are just top of the line and they just want to go out there and crush it and kill it and just make big names for themselves out there and just get freedom for themselves and their households. And so why are we doing this? Because look, this is what's going to happen. On the call that we're going to get on, we're going to help you get total clarity about exactly what you want your life to look like and the exact steps that you should take to achieve your goals. And we believe that your business should be created to support the lifestyle that you design, not the other way around. Your life is not designed to support your business, but your business is designed to support your lifestyle. And if you want us to help you, and if we think it's a good fit when we're on the call with you, we may invite you to become one of the new students that we take on a monthly basis. And if we work together, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be put into a 12-week workshop that spits out $200,000 a year real estate entrepreneurs. If we work together, we're going to hold you accountable to taking action, doing deals, and making money, because we want you to be our latest case study. We want you to have a check where it's $5,000 or $10,000 or $18,000, and you're smiling and you're saying, Daniel Wiafe and his team helped me achieve this goal, and he helped me achieve freedom from my job. That's what we want to do. You're going to be put on a fast track if we accept you into our program to gaining freedom from your job and your debt so that you can spend time with the people that you love. Now is your time for action. And in a moment, I'm going to give you access to that free gift that I mentioned at the top of the webinar, because we're slightly over an hour. But look, I'm going to offer you 10 of you guys and gals the opportunity to come on board today, right now, with my small group of students and learn how to make $10,000 to $20,000 a month flipping houses in your own city. So what I want for you to do now is click the big yellow button that's below this video. Spaces are limited. I can only accept a few students each month because we like to focus our time on students just to make sure that they have success. And if we do choose to have you in our program, then we're going to talk about the investment that you need to make in yourself in order to get into our program. And we're going to make sure that we guarantee that you get out there in your local market and crush it. And look, when you click the yellow button that's below this video, I'm also going to give you instructions on how you can get that free gift that I promised at the beginning of the webinar. So look, we are at an hour and 5 minutes. So I want to go ahead and just open it up for questions. But go ahead right now. If you want to get on that 30-minute free phone call with us where we can assess you and help see where you need to be at and see what success you need to have or accomplish in order for you to feel good about life, I want you to call us. I want you to sign up for the application. I want you to apply to talk with us for 30 minutes just so that we can put you on the right path. And so click the yellow button. If the yellow button is not there, I want you to go ahead and just go to houseflippingdojo.com/apply. And then you can apply to have a 30-minute phone conversation with us, and we're going to help get you on the right track. And we may give you an opportunity to join in one of our open enrollment sessions. So right now, I'm going to open it up to questions. We have about 5 minutes that we can do. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. And I actually have Melinda, and she has taken down some of the questions that she wants me to answer. So first question is from Sean. Sean, he says, can I do this in my city? And he lives in Omaha, Nebraska. Matter of fact, Sean, I actually grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. And you can do it in any city in America. As long as there are houses in your market, and as long as there are people buying houses and people that are selling houses, you can do it anywhere in America. Next question comes from Tom. And Tom says, do we have to pay for the call that we have with you or your team? The answer to that, Tom, is no. The call is totally free. We're going to talk to you. We're going to see where you want to be at. We're going to see what type of financial goals you have for your life, what it's going to take for you to get freedom in your life. And if we believe that we can coach you and lead you into greatness and success, we're going to offer you the chance to come into our academy. Next question is from Bradley. He says, your wife is hot. Thank you, Bradley. But I'm the one who bought her the Lexus, so I think she's going to stay with me. And so Melinda was the one that gave me the question, so she probably threw that in there as a joke. But thank you, Bradley. I appreciate it. Tracy Ann, that's the next question, says, I am signing up for my 30-minute phone session. Great, Tracy Ann. One of us will definitely get a hold of you at the scheduled time. Virginia says, let me read this. My husband and I watched Flipping the Heartland and loved it. Thank you. You're pretty hot too, Daniel. Smiley face. Thanks. When are you guys coming on? I'm assuming that you're saying, when are we going to come back on TV? We're actually playing in Canada right now. the show. But yeah, just totally depends on HGTV. So we're just in limbo right now. We just waiting to see if they want us back for season 2 or not. So if they do, then that's going to be all good and great and gravy. If not, it was a fun ride. So great experience. Next question comes from Shrimmer. And he says, how do I get the free gift? Shrimmer, you're going to go to houseflippingdojo.com/apply, and the instructions on how you get the free gift, the notes and the contracts are going to be on that page. So just go to click the big yellow button that's below this video, or go to houseflippingdojo.com/apply. Next question is from Gus. And Gus asks, how do I find a title company in my area? And a few things that you can do, Gus, is you can go through the yellow pages and then just call a bunch of different real estate attorneys or title companies, and then just ask them if they can do assignments or simultaneous closings. And if they say that they can, then you're going to go with them. Lisa said, great presentation. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Glad that you loved it. Enrique says, I work 40 to 50 hours a week. Can I still do this? Short answer to that, Enrique, is yes. As long as you can devote 10 to 15 hours a week on your business, which I believe anybody can, you're going to put yourself in a position to have success. So remember this, you guys and gals, 10 to 15 hours a week minimum. Emil, I hope I'm saying your name right. He said, great seminar, Dan. I am signing up now for my call with you. Hope you pick me up as one of your students. Yeah, definitely hope so too, Emil. So we'll definitely chat and talk. Ruvolo says, how much should a newbie have for marketing? Okay, that's actually a great question, Ruvolo. You should have at least $300 to $500 a month that you can devote towards marketing. If you have that sum, then you're going to put yourself in a really, really good space in order for you to clear deals consistently. So that's not, $300 to $500, that's not going to be a deal killer if you don't have $300 a month. But as close as you can get to it, you need to have it. And obviously, if you have more than $500, if you have like $1,000 that you can devote towards marketing each month, you're going to absolutely crush it and kill it. You're going to be a beast. So next question comes from Sam, and this is actually going to be the last question I take. The webinar is actually going to cut off here in a moment. So last question comes from Sam. Sam says, is it that easy to find cash buyers? The answer is yes. I know it seems that it seems a little bit too good to be true, but I've done it. I have trained dozens of other people to do it, and they have had success. And so my system for finding cash buyers is flawless, and it will work in any city. I teach that to my students every day. We go into some creative ways beyond even Bandit signs in our academy, which teaches you how to find the ultimate cash buyers. So anyways, I know that there's a bunch of you guys who have asked questions during the webinar, and I haven't gotten to your questions, and I apologize for that. What I want you to do is make sure you check your emails that you signed up for the webinar, because I'm going to make sure that I answer every single question that you guys have asked on this webinar. All the questions that you asked on the webinar are actually going to be forwarded to my email. So I'm going to make sure I spend time in the next day or so answering those questions. So if you ask a question, just check your email and your spam folder, because you will get a reply from me. So anyways, that being said, make sure that you apply for your free 30-minute call. We want to make sure that you are put in a good position to have success and to realize the freedom that you deserve to have. So again, Daniel Wiafe here. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. Peace and God bless, and I will see you at the top.